We're going to start today in an easy seat, and we'll start with alternate nostril breathing, so a little bit of pranayama to start practice. So you can just come into whatever's comfortable. So for alternate nostril breathing, we're just going to inhale in through the nose. You can place your right thumb on your right nostril, and on your exhale, you'll exhale out through the left side of the nose. And then continuing with this, so inhaling in through the left nostril. Closing off that left nostril and releasing, exhaling out of the right. We'll be here for a few minutes, so taking that with your own breath. Inhaling in through one side of the nose and exhaling out the other. We'll be here for a few more minutes just to calm down the nervous system. If you're joining in a few minutes after, we're just taking alternate nostril breathing. So inhaling in through one nostril, closing off the other. Switching sides, and then exhaling out of that opposite. Nice, taking about three or four more deep breaths on your own, with your own breath. And releasing that right hand down. If you're in an easy seat, we'll just inhale our arms up overhead. As we exhale, twisting over towards the left, maybe placing your right arm on the outside of the left leg. Inhaling back up to center. And exhaling over towards the right. Taking this about 2 more times, so inhaling back up to center. Exhaling over towards the left. And inhaling back up to center. Exhaling over towards the right. Wherever you are, just making your way into a tabletop. We'll go ahead and start a few cat-cows. So every inhale, we drop the belly down. We lift the chin up towards the sky. Every exhale, we round through the spine, tucking the chin into chest. As continuing with this movement, keeping with that strong breath, that strong ujjayi breathing. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Maybe slightly constricting the back of your throat on the exhales. Making that ocean-like sound. Adding in whatever organic, intuitive movement feels good for you today. So maybe it's dancing lions. Maybe it's some wrist stretches. You can flip the fingertips towards your own body, taking small circles around the wrist in one direction. And then switching that direction, whatever feels good for you today. We'll take 3 more breaths on our own. Maybe closing the eyes, just doing whatever feels good. Nice, and then coming back to our neutral tabletop. Beginning to walk the palms forward, coming into our puppy posture. Letting your forehead come down to the mat. Making sure our hips are still stacked over our knees so we're not sinking our glutes back. Maybe rocking your forehead side to side, massaging your third eye center. Nice, maybe here coming to an intention. So in yoga, we usually set an intention. It can be a word, a phrase, a mantra, a dedication that brings you back to your ujjayi breath, brings you back to the present moment. If the class gets hard or if the breath gets choppy. So just taking a moment to seal that in with an in breath in through the nose And then maybe an exhale, sighing it out, releasing that out through the mouth. And then slowly, when you're ready, starting to walk actually we're gonna shift forward into our Sphinx pose. So coming onto our forearms, nice, the chest is filling through our forearms. Nice, gaze is about 6 inches in front of your fingers. We're just gonna lower down the chest, releasing the arms out to a T, coming into a shoulder opener here. So beginning to bring that left arm in, the palm can come right underneath your deltoid. We're gonna start shifting over to our right side, bringing our left foot over the body. Taking a few breaths here. And then slowly coming back to center, making your way over towards that left side. So bringing the right arm in, and then shifting your right leg over your left. And then slowly coming back to center, bringing your palms underneath your deltoids. We're gonna come into Cobra, so making sure our legs are planted firmly into the ground. We inhale, we lift just our chest up. Nice. Exhaling here. Taking one more inhale. And exhale, lowering down. Beginning to shift your palms back closer to your belly button. Next inhale, rising back up for Cobra. Maybe coming onto the fingertips, using more of that back strength. And exhale, lowering down. Last one, maybe shifting the fingertips back even more, zipping those feet together. Next inhale, we rise up. Maybe lifting the palms off the ground, pure back strength here. Exhaling here. Inhaling once more. And exhale, releasing down to the ground. Nice, tucking the toes underneath you. Next inhale, we'll push up to our high plank, maybe tucking the knees if you need to. Exhaling, shifting the hips back to our down dog. Nice, inhaling here. And exhaling, walking the palms back to meet the feet. Nice, we'll find a forward fold, so your favorite forward fold. Maybe it's ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbows with the palms. Finding a bend in the knees, so much so that your chest comes on the top of the thighs. Make this about your spine, not your hamstrings. And then inhale, halfway lifting, releasing that bind. Exhale, folding. Next inhale, root to rise, palms come up overhead. Maybe they touch at the top. And exhale, fold back down, forward. Taking that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lifting. And exhale, folding. Inhale, root to rise, palms come up overhead. Half sundae here. Nice, and exhale, swan diving forward. Last one, inhale, halfway lifting. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, root to rise, in-breath rises you up. And exhale, takes you back down. Inhale, halfway lifting. As we exhale, this time we walk back out to our down dog. Nice, inhaling here, peeking up towards the palms. On our exhale, we'll walk, hop, maybe float to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold forward. Next inhale, coming into our fierce pose. We bend through the knees, gaze goes up to the palms, maybe palms touch, reaching towards the sky. Nice. Holding here for a breath. And then exhale, releasing out of that. Inhale, halfway lifting. As we exhale, we keep the right foot in between the palms. We step the left foot back to a 45-degree angle. We rise up for our warrior one on this right side. Nice, so palms maybe come up overhead, maybe gaze goes up. Hips stay squared off to the front of the mat. Nice, taking one more in-breath here. And as we exhale, beginning to lift up that back heel, lower down the back knee, coming into our low crescent lunge. Nice, inhaling here. As we exhale, we straighten out that front leg, coming into our half splits. Maybe folding over that leg. We'll hold here for a few breaths. Next, inhale, bending through that front leg. Maybe palms come up overhead. We'll begin to step the back foot forward, coming back into our chair pose. So inhale, root to rise, palms come up. Nice, exhale, folding forward. This time stepping our right leg back. Next, inhale, rising up for our warrior one. Nice, sinking into this warrior one. 90-degree in that front left leg. Back foot's at 45, heel to heel alignment here. Maybe gaze goes up, maybe you sink a little lower, reach a little higher. Holding here for one more breath. And then lifting that back heel up, setting that right knee down to the ground. We inhale for a low crescent lunge. Nice, maybe sinking into the hips, feeling the stretch a little bit more into that, the hip flexors. Nice, inhaling here. Next exhale, we begin to straighten that front leg, coming into our half splits. We'll be here for a few breaths. Maybe finding that length in the spine for strength. Maybe folding over the leg for some flexibility. Taking one more full breath here. And the next inhale, bending through that front leg. Maybe reaching the palms up overhead. We'll step the back foot forward, coming into this forward fold once more. We'll inhale, halfway lift. This time we'll find Padangusthasana. So taking your yoga peace fingers to your big toes. Inhale, halfway lifting, and as we exhale, we fold forward. Elbows will go to each side. Maybe rocking side to side. Letting your head go. So making sure there's no tension in the neck. Next inhale, halfway lifting. And as we exhale, we'll step both feet back, taking it through our first vinyasa. So maybe you lower the knees down to the ground. If you want, we keep them up. We lower down halfway. As we inhale, we roll through for upward facing dog. Nice, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Next inhale, right leg rises up for 3-point. We'll open up the hip, bringing the knee to the sky, maybe taking circles with the ankle in one direction and then the other. Maybe opening up the hip with big hip circles. Wherever you are, squaring the feet or the hips back off, making sure our right pinky toe is pointing down towards the mat. Inhaling here. As we exhale, we'll bring that right foot in between the palms. Spinning that back foot to 45, inhale, rising up to warrior one. We've been here before, holding for just an inhale this time. As we exhale, we lower that back knee down. Low crescent lunge. Nice, inhaling up here. As we exhale, bringing that right palm to the ground. Left arm goes overhead, so it's a side body stretch. Inhaling back up to center. And exhaling over towards that left side. Nice, inhaling back up to center. And exhaling, framing that front foot, lifting that back knee. We send the right foot back to a one-legged plank. Lower down halfway. Inhale up through upward facing dog. And exhale back through downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg rises up. Maybe peeling open the hip. Knee goes towards the ceiling. Maybe taking those circles with the ankle. Making sure our shoulders, our chest is still squared off to the mat here. It's just our hip that's opening up. Nice, maybe taking those big hip circles if you did so on the other side. And wherever you are, squaring off the hips. Nice, pointing that left pinky toe down to the ground. Energetically pulling that right heel down to the ground. Inhaling here. As we exhale, we bring that foot in between the palms. We inhale, rise up for warrior one. Nice, back foot's at 45. Maybe a slight back bend in the back here. Inhaling here. As we exhale, lower that back knee down. Inhaling, palms up overhead. Exhaling, left hand to the ground. Right hand goes over to the left for a side body stretch. Inhaling back up to center. And exhaling towards the other side. Inhaling back up to center. Exhale, framing that front foot, lifting the back knee up. We shoot that left leg back for a one-legged plank, lower down halfway. Inhale up for upward facing dog. And exhale back for downward facing dog. Nice, taking a cleansing breath here. So inhaling in through the nose. And exhale, sighing something out, letting something go. We'll take one more of those, inhaling in through the nose. And exhale, sighing something out. Nice, getting into our flow. We'll start in down dog. Next inhale, right leg lifts up for 3-point. Nice, bringing that foot in between the palms. This time we rise up for low or high crescent lunge. So back knee is lifted up. Nice, maybe starting with a bend in the back knee, making sure our hips stay square, our shoulders stay over our pelvis. Nice, and then beginning to straighten that back leg. Nice, inhaling here. As we exhale, we'll find lightning warrior. So bringing the palms behind you, face down. Nice, and then starting to bend over that, that right leg, but our belly, our chest isn't touching that leg yet. Nice. And then starting to reach that, just the left arm forward. So just the left arm goes forward. Maybe the biceps in line with the ear, with the cheek. Nice, and getting super light on your back leg. We're gonna begin to place that left palm to the ground, lifting up for our revolved half moon. So you can stay here if this feels good to you. If you want, you can start to revolve it by bringing that right hand up towards the sky. Maybe gaze goes up to the sky. Nice, straightening through that right leg as much as you can. And then exhale, bringing that right palm down, coming into our grounded warrior 3. So bringing your fingertips in line with that right leg. Maybe folding knee to nose. Nice, and gently starting to come into our warrior 2. So same windmilling motion here. Our left arm comes up and over. Nice, right arm extends out. Gazes past that middle finger. Nice, trying to focus on something, a drishti. Nice, reaching that arm forward, coming into peaceful warrior. And next exhale, finding extended side angle. So maybe that right forearm comes to the right leg. Maybe the palm comes down to the ground. Wherever we are, we make sure we keep that chest open, our heart open. Maybe our gaze up if we have no neck issues. Nice, and then placing that left palm down on the ground, picking up the back heel, coming into an easy twist. Nice, right arm comes up. And exhale, framing that foot, taking it back for a one-legged plank, either taking it through a flow or simply sending the hips back for downward facing dog. Taking a cleansing breath here, inhaling in through the nose, exhale, sighing something out, releasing something out. Next, inhale, left leg rises for 3-point. Bring that foot in between the palms. Next, inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge. Maybe starting with the back knee bent a little bit and then straightening it out. Making sure we keep alignment in the upper body. Inhaling here. And then beginning to exhale, coming into our lightning warrior. Nice, so arms go behind us, palms face down. Nice, and then gently reaching the right arm forward, just the right arm. Nice, and then placing it down to the ground, starting to lift up into our revolved half moon. So maybe your left arm goes up, maybe your gaze goes to that left thumb. Holding for one more breath here. And then releasing to our grounded warrior 3. So folding over that left leg. Nice, and then as slow as you can, bending through that front leg. Spinning the back foot to 90 degrees. We'll start the cartwheel motion with our right hand. We rise up to our warrior 2. Nice, so 90-degree bend in that front leg. Back foot's to 90. Every inhale, lengthening through the spine a little bit more. Every exhale, sinking into this lunge a little bit more. Next inhale, maybe flipping the front palm and exhaling into our peaceful warrior. And then making our way to our extended side angle. So maybe the forearm comes to the thigh, maybe the palm comes on the inside or outside of that left leg. Then releasing the right hand down, lifting the back heel up, coming into an easy twist, left palm goes up. Next exhale, framing that front foot, sending the left foot back, either taking it through a flow or simply sending the hips back to downward facing dog. Whatever feels good to you. We'll all inhale in through the nose and exhale, sighing that out, finding some sort of cleansing breath whenever you're back in your down dog. Nice, getting straight back into it. Next inhale, right leg rises, 3-point. On the exhale, we'll bring that knee to nose. This time we tap it down to the ground. Nice, and then exhale, bringing it back into chest. Inhale, tapping it down to the ground. Exhale, bringing it into chest. Last one. Inhale, tapping it down. Exhale, bringing it into chest. We'll plant that foot in between the palms. Nice, this time we open up to our extended warrior right away. And so that extended side angle. So right palm is on the inside, outside of the foot. Maybe right forearm on the top of the right thigh. Whatever feels good to you here. We'll hold here for a few breaths. And the next inhale, we rise it up for our warrior two. So palms come out in a T. Maybe gaze goes past that middle finger. And then find high crescent lunge to the back of the mat. Nice, so lifting up that right foot, that right heel, sorry. And then maybe reaching the palms up overhead, maybe gaze goes up. Nice, getting super light in that back foot. We're gonna come all the way to our warrior three on this left leg. So you can ground it here if you want. If you're ready to lift up, maybe bringing the palms to prayer at heart center. Or maybe grounding them, no big deal either way. Nice, we'll hold for one more breath. And then inhale, rising up to stork. So right knee comes into our chest. Palms come up overhead. Nice, and then coming into our big toe hold. So grabbing your right big toe with your right hands, your right peace fingers. If you can't extend the leg out, this is a perfectly good place to be. But if you have the space and want to go ahead and start extending the leg, feel free to do so. It's okay if there's a little bend in it, just as long as our shoulders are stacked over our pelvis, our belt line is still facing the front of the mat or the back of the mat. Nice, and then choosing something to look at, something to focus on during this time here. We'll be here for a few breaths. Nice, and then slowly beginning to open up the hip. Maybe taking that left arm out to your left. Maybe looking at the thumb. Wherever you are, bringing that foot back to center. We'll release the bind, but keep the foot extended if it is. We'll hold here for a full breath. And then as we exhale, we'll come back to our warrior three. Maybe we ground it this time. Just a few more poses on this leg. Nice, bringing that back knee, your right knee in towards your left knee, starting to bend through the left leg, coming into Kundalini. Nice, inhale, extending it out long. Exhale, bending it in. Inhale, extending out long. Last one, exhale, bending it in. And then we'll release to our Krishna's dance. So placing that right foot, the right pinky side of the foot to the left pinky side of the foot. And we'll fold over that. Nice, maybe bending into that front knee a little bit more to get more of a stretch if you're not feeling it. We'll inhale, undoing the bind. As we exhale, we'll send the feet back, either taking it through a vinyasa or simply sending the hips back and up for downward facing dog. Nice, we're facing the back side of our mat now. Next inhale, reach that left leg up for 3-point. As we exhale, we'll bring knee to nose. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Exhale, or inhale, lower the knee down. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one, lowering the knee down. Exhale, knee to nose. And then placing that foot in between the palms, we're opening up for our extended side angle. So taking the same variation you took on the other side. Making sure our heart stays open in this pose. Making sure we're not dumping into that left leg. Next inhale, we'll rise up to warrior two. Maybe gaze goes past that left middle finger. We'll hold here for a few breaths. And then making our way to high crescent lunge facing the front of the mat. Nice, so our right leg is bent forward. Palms come up overhead. Nice in breath here. As we exhale, getting super light on that back leg. Lifting up into our warrior three. We've been here before, so if you want to bring palms to heart center, maybe airplane the arms, maybe send the arms out in front of you. Whatever feels good here. We'll be here for a few breaths. Making sure our pinky toe is pointing down to the ground. That helps keep our hips squared off to the mat. Nice, holding here for one more breath. And then inhale, rising up to stork. So bringing that left knee into chest. Nice, and then extending to our big toe hold. We'll take our left big toe, maybe with the left peace fingers, maybe the knee is bent, but maybe we can start extending it a little bit. So rooting really strong into that right big toe, making sure our right leg's as straight as we can make it, making sure our shoulders are in line over our hips. Choosing something that's not moving to focus on. Maybe coming back to that Ujjayi breathing if you lost it. We'll inhale here. As we exhale, maybe open up the hip. Maybe right arm goes out to the right, gaze goes up to that right thumb. Holding here for a few more breaths. And then inhaling back to center. Releasing any bind, but keeping the foot up if you have it. For one more breath. And then exhale, sending it back to that warrior three. So last few postures on this leg. Coming into Kundalini, so bringing that left knee behind the right, extending it back out for warrior three. Two more, bringing that left knee behind the right, Kundalini, extending out long. And last one, Kundalini. Nice, extending into Krishna's dance, so placing that right pinky toe side of the foot next to the left. The left leg is behind the right. We'll inhale here, halfway lift, finding length in the spine. And exhale, fold forward. Maybe bending into that front leg a little bit more for more of a stretch. If you're super open. We'll all inhale, halfway lift, undo the bind. As we exhale, we'll come into that high plank. So don't lower down all the way yet. We're gonna come into a little bit different pose. So we'll inhale here, roll forward onto the toes. Exhale, slow as you can, lowering all the way down to the mat. Nice, so stomach, chest, legs are all on the ground. We're gonna come into a few belly up back bends. So zipping your feet together if you can, if you have no low back sensitivities. We're gonna send our palms behind us, face down, so our arms are out long. Nice, maybe forehead comes down to the mat. Take a few breaths here. And the next inhale, just the chest starts to lift up off the ground. Nice, so just using your back strength here. Pressing your tops of the feet into the ground. Squeezing your glutes. And maybe we start to lift up the feet, keeping them zipped together if you can. Nice, and then last thing to come up is our palms, maybe even interlacing them behind the back. Pulling your palms together and finding a little bit more space to come up, to lengthen out. So going for length here, not height. We'll take one more in-breath. And exhale, release that down to the ground. Go ahead and windshield wiper the feet side to side. So we'll come into one more belly up, back bend, into bow. So bringing the knees as close as you can together. We want to try and keep them together. Bending the legs at 90, so bending at the knees. Go ahead and grabbing the outsides of the feet, maybe the ankles with the palms. We'll inhale here. As we exhale, beginning to push into the palms with your feet. As you push into the feet with the palms, lifting the chest up off the ground. Nice, finding some spinal extension here. Maybe looking up. Taking 2 more breaths here because you can. Last inhale. And then exhaling, releasing out of that. Finding windshield wipers with the feet, with the legs. And slowly bringing our palms underneath our shoulders, tucking the toes underneath us. Either pushing up to our high plank or pushing back to a child's pose, whatever you want here. We'll meet in down dog. And we'll take a few breaths there on your own. So maybe taking a cleansing breath there. Maybe pedaling out the feet. Taking whatever you need. And then meeting me in down dog. So inhaling that right leg up to 3-point. We'll bring knee to elbow this time. We'll lower it down to the wrist. Bring knee back to elbow. Nice, and then placing that foot in between the palms. This time we rise all the way up to warrior 3 to begin with. Nice, so maybe bringing up the hands to prayer if you haven't done so yet. Nice, we'll hold here for a few breaths. And then we'll lower that back foot down. Coming into pyramid, so rising all the way up to stand first, but making sure there's about 3 feet in between our right foot and the left. The left foot can be a little bit in and out. We'll inhale, open up the chest. As we exhale, we can fold over that right leg. Maybe bringing knee to nose one day. Holding here for about 2 more breaths. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Keeping the left palm planted firmly down. We're gonna open up with the right, coming into our revolve triangle. Nice, so staying super strong here. If you have a block at home and want to use it, feel free to do so. And slowly, gently starting to shift your weight forward, maybe moving that left palm a few inches in front of you, picking up that back foot, coming into our kundalini with a twist. So we've been in Kundalini. This time we just keep the twist of the chest. Nice, holding here for one more inhale. As we exhale, we send that back foot back for an easy twist. So keeping the twist with the chest, maybe moving that left palm back a little bit right underneath your shoulder. We're gonna make our way into our side plank. So rolling on to that knife edge of the left foot, peeling the right foot off of the ground. Nice, and then maybe even taking this into a back bend if you want here, so that that right foot comes all the way over the left foot. Nice, and then when you're ready, placing that right palm down on the ground, coming back to high plank. We'll lower down halfway. Inhale up through upward facing dog. And send the hips back through downward facing dog. Nice, nice. Inhale, left leg rises up for 3-point. Bring that knee to elbow for mountain climber. Lowering it down to the wrist. Pulling it back in and up. And then stepping it in between the palms. Rising up for our warrior 3. Nice, we'll be here for a few breaths. Maybe grounding if you need to do so here. Trying to straighten out that left leg as best you can. And then slowly setting that back foot down about 3 feet behind the left. We'll rise up to stand. The right foot can be in and out a little bit. Inhale, opening up through the chest. And as we exhale, we begin to fold over that left leg. Staying here for about 2 more breaths. We'll inhale, halfway lift, keeping that right palm rooted firmly on the ground. We'll open up with the left, coming into our revolved triangle. Just holding here for about 3 more breaths. Trying to keep the hips squared off to the ground. Nice, and then getting light on that right palm, shifting the weight forward, coming into that Kundalini with the twist. So our right leg bends in behind that left knee. We'll hold here for 2 more breaths. And then extend it out long, coming into an easy twist. So maybe bringing that right palm right underneath your shoulder, opening up with the left palm, starting to shift onto the knife edge of your right foot, lifting into our high plank, maybe extending that left leg up. Maybe finding a back bend here, placing that left leg behind you or over that right leg. Nice, and then wherever you are, come back to our high plank. But instead of vinyasa-ing this time, we're gonna walk the palms out to about like more than mat twist distance, and then walk the feet out the same. So I'm not really sure what these are called, but they're pretty challenging. So we'll shift the weight forward, we'll lower down like it's a push-up, then inhale, coming back up. We'll take 3 of those. So exhale, lowering down halfway, inhaling back up. Last one, lowering down halfway, inhaling back up. Walking the palms right underneath your shoulders, the feet back in. We'll shift it forward, lower down halfway. Inhale for upward facing dog, and exhale for downward facing dog. Nice, taking a cleansing breath here. So inhaling in through the nose. Exhale, sighing something out, letting something go. We'll take a few more breaths in this down dog. Maybe coming down to child's pose if you need it here. Maybe coming back to that intention, that word, phrase, or mantra you set at the beginning of class. Maybe coming back to the breath if we lost it. Nice, next, or wherever you are, we'll come back to down dog. So if you're in child's, lifting up and back. Next inhale, we'll look in between the palms, and exhale, make your way to the top of the mat, however you want to get there, whatever works for you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Next inhale, coming up to our fierce pose, our knees bend, gaze goes up towards our palms maybe. Nice, we'll exhale, release the arms right in front of you. So if you ever take hot 26, this is similar to the posture they do then. We'll inhale, lifting up one heel, and then maybe the other heel. We're gonna start to lower down as slow as we can. Nice, coming into a toe squat. Nice, and eventually bringing our palms to prayer at heart center. We'll inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we'll take a twist over towards that left side. Nice, so if this is too much for you, you can go ahead and take chair twist. If you're still with me and want to try side crow, you can release that right palm down to the ground, the left palm down to the ground, making sure your elbow's kind of in line with your glute, your left elbow and your right elbow's kind of in line with the right before your left knee. So we're gonna start to chaturanga the arms, gaze forward, so go forward, and then start to lift up those feet a little bit. If this is too much, maybe just holding that twist here. And wherever you are, we'll slowly come out of that. If you're still in the toe squat, we'll slowly begin to rise back up to stand, releasing the heels to the ground, keeping the arms exactly as they are. We're just gonna take that on the opposite side. So sitting down to our chair, lifting one heel, then maybe the other. Nice, and then lowering down slow as you can. Coming into that toe squat. Maybe bringing our palms to prayer at heart center. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. And exhaling over towards the right. Maybe trying out that invert or that arm balance here if you want to. So bringing your palms to the ground, making that shelf, that chaturanga, arms with your arms. And then maybe leaning forward, lifting the legs off the ground. It's more balanced than anything else, so you'd be surprised. And then wherever you are, making your way back to the center of that toe squat. We'll make our way up back to stand. Nice, releasing the heels to the ground. Heel toeing the feet out wide. Inhaling, opening up the chest. And exhaling, folding forward. So it's just a wide-legged forward fold. You can even heel toe the feet out wider if you want to make it more of a traditional wide-legged forward fold. If you're an upside down yogi and would like to take an inversion here, feel free to do so. If not, just take your favorite fold here. So maybe it's palms interlaced behind the back. Maybe it's hands grabbing opposite elbows. Whatever feels good here. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. And if you're upside down, beginning to slowly make your way out of that. We'll heel toe our feet back in to about max width distance. We're just gonna sit down into our malasana squat, so our yogi squat. Nice, maybe palms come to prayer at heart center. Pushing onto the insides of the legs with the outsides of the arms. Nice, so opening up the chest here, maybe looking up. If you have crow bakasana and want to take it here, feel free to do so. If not, we'll just hang out in this malasana. If you want to take a fun version of crow bakasana, you can bring your palms about max width distance apart. Go ahead and bend through the elbows, chaturanga arms, and then place your knees like as close to your armpits as you can. But the arms are bent here, so it's like a funky crow variation. If if you're in Malasana and want to take a shoulder stretch, you can bring the right palm to the outside of the right mat, then open up with the left. Same thing on that left side, just switching. Then inhaling back to center, placing the palms on the ground, sending the hips up to the sky, maybe walking the palms forward, the feet back. You can take it through a vinyasa, or you can simply send the hips back for downward facing dog, whatever feels good to you. Next inhale, our right leg reaches up for 3-point. We'll bring that knee to elbow for mountain climber, beginning to set our shin kind of as parallel as you can to the front of the mat. It doesn't really matter if it is or it isn't parallel. We're setting up for pigeon. Nice, so the most important thing here is our back leg is straight. Our toes are pointing directly straight back. We'll inhale, open up through the chest. As we exhale, maybe starting to walk the palms forward, maybe eventually lowering onto the forearms, or maybe one day lowering onto the chest. We'll hold this pose a little bit longer, so like 10 of your deepest breaths. About halfway there. And the next in breath, starting to slowly walk your palms up. We'll come into a quad stretch here. So beginning to bend that back leg. Taking your left palm behind you, maybe opening up the chest a little bit, maybe grabbing that back foot. Bringing your heel a little bit closer to your glute. Getting into the front part of that leg. And slowly releasing that. We'll swing that back leg forward, setting up for our Janu. So our right sole of the foot's on the inside of the left thigh. We inhale the arms up overhead, rotating slightly over that left leg, then beginning to fold over the leg. Keeping the length in the spine for at least an inhale, and then maybe exhaling, folding fully over that leg. Next inhale, halfway lifting, exhaling here, and then inhaling all the way back up. We're gonna come into pigeon on our left, so you can just swing that right leg back, bend through the left leg, or you can take the same variation we took to get into it on the right, so coming into down dog, making your way to mountain climber, setting up that way. However you want to, just meeting in pigeon, making sure we inhale, open up through the chest, and then maybe exhaling, walking the palms out, releasing into our pigeon posture. About halfway there again. And then very slowly starting to walk your palms up. We'll come into that quad stretch here. So maybe bending that back leg, reaching the right arm back, grabbing hold of that top of your foot. And then releasing that, swinging that back leg forward, setting up for Janu on the right. So left leg, left right, or left sole foot comes into the right inside of the leg. We inhale, arms come up overhead, slightly rotating over that right leg. And exhale, folding forward, keeping the length in the spine for an in breath. And then maybe exhaling, folding all the way over that leg. Holding here for a few breaths. Then inhale, lifting up halfway, exhaling here, inhaling all the way back up, bringing soles of the feet together. We're just gonna begin to lower onto the spine, setting up for Supta Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide, maybe bringing one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Setting up for a little bit of gratitude practice, drawing in 3 things that you're absolutely grateful for in this moment, in this day. Sealing them in with an in-breath. And then exhale, sign something out. Setting up for happy baby. So bringing your knees kind of into your armpits. You'll grab the outside of the calves or maybe outsides of the feet or maybe big toes with your palms or your peace fingers. Making sure that our low back stays rooted onto the ground. Maybe rocking side to side, massaging your low back. Maybe playing with straightening one leg and then the other. If you have a favorite inversion and you'd rather take that now, feel free to do so. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. And then gently bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. We'll release our arms into a T, setting up for a spinal twist. So maybe taking a traditional spinal twist if you'd rather cross the right or the left leg on top of the right, sorry. Setting up for like kind of an eagle variation. We'll inhale here as we exhale, let the legs go over towards the right. Maybe gaze goes over towards the left. Maybe deepening this a little bit more by taking that right palm on top of the left leg. And inhaling the legs back up to center, undoing any bind. Maybe taking the bind on the opposite side, so right leg comes on top of left, crossing at the knees. We'll let the legs go over towards the left, maybe gaze goes over towards the right. Maybe deepening this twist a little bit more by placing your left palm on top of the right leg. And then slowly making your way back to center, releasing the bind of the legs, bringing your knees into your chest, setting up for Uttanasana, bringing your eye sockets to your kneecaps, inhaling here, engaging every muscle in your body, clenching your teeth, furrowing your brow. And then on the exhale, releasing the upper body to the mat, legs stay into your chest, inhaling in here. And then exhaling, releasing the legs out long, setting up for our corpse pose, our Shavasana. We'll end practice with 3 deep cleansing breaths together. So inhaling in through the nose. Exhale, sighing something out. Next one, a little bit different. We'll out on the exhale. So inhaling in through the nose. And exhale. Last one, we're just gonna shit out. So inhaling in through the nose. Pausing at the top, sucking in a little bit more air. And exhale, releasing into Shavasana. And then slowly starting to bring a little bit of movement to your fingers and your toes. Maybe starting to bring your knees into your chest, rolling onto your favorite side for fetal position. Maybe with your eyes closed or hazy, beginning to make your way into an easy seat. Maybe bringing palms to prayer at heart center. Taking a full inhale and exhale here. Next inhale, palms or thumb knuckle comes up to third eye. Thank you, yogis, for practicing here with me today and giving me a purpose throughout this crazy time period. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you back in a Zoom class in the future. Namaste.